essentially, this isn't supposed to be a matchup, but it is a matchup because do you know what? It's Chelsea. It's Chelsea that are playing, and you get to understand when you look at the statistics of the two teams playing against each other. In the history of the English Premier League, these two teams have played the most draws, especially in the last 10 years, about 25 or so. Both teams, especially for Chelsea, have failed to win at the Old Trafford in a decade. That is huge. Again, for Manchester United, they also get to do their job against Chelsea. They find a way to beat Chelsea. In the last 5 times that both teams have played, Chelsea have failed to win against them, whether home and away. So it is a huge and a Herculean task for Chelsea. So if any Manchester United fan sits somewhere and says, hey, we'll beat Chelsea. Yes, they are good. Yes, they've had good points against City. Yes, we lost against City. They've had good points against Arsenal. They've had very good points against Liverpool. They've been good against Tottenham Hotspur. But we will beat them because we are Manchester United. You can understand, because in the context of which United are in terms of experience and how they get to manage games and the kind of characters that they have in their team, Chelsea doesn't seem to have that. And it is boring. But you see, a win for Chelsea in this game, it's more than 3 points. One, they get to break a jinx. Two, they get to get enough confidence to understand that some of their devils and their nemesis that consistently got the better of them, they get to triumph over, in fact, the biggest of all their nemesis in Manchester United. Also, they get to put the dagger in the heart of an old foe, which is Manchester United, because United have tried to do a lot of great stuff. They have failed at it. They've lost to Newcastle, and they are in a bad and sorry state. If Chelsea gets a win, they get to mimic them and then pinch them in their soul. It is something that will bring a lot of joy and excitement to the faces of Chelsea fans, and that's exactly why a win for them will worth more than just 3 points. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. If you've not subscribed to the channel, you should. Please go back, pause the video, turn on notifications, subscribe to the channel, and do choose all. My name again is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, and then we are at it now. You see, Cole Palmer just granted an interview to Chelsea website, and he spoke explicitly about how he savours over the game and how he relishes playing in such a game, because of course it's a big game, and he has never played at Old Trafford before. And in a stark contrast, it is the difference in experience between the two sides. Manchester United have the characters: Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, Marcus Rashford, Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Varane. These are players that have huge experience in Europe, in the league, playing against some of the best sides and what's not. It's a difficult game, especially in the context of experience and how the game can turn on its head. The fact that Chelsea do not have that experience that they need to win games like this, and the fact that they need to keep a cool head. And you go back to the last 2-3 games that Chelsea have played, where the captains on both days had red cards. They were shown the marching orders. And for me, I have a personal analogy where I believe that teams, the action of players or the character of players on the field of play in terms of emotions is stemmed from the coach's character. And I think that Mauricio Pochettino is a very emotional and intense manager. He tries to push his team to be that intense and emotional and to get themselves imbibed and dipped in the game to a very large extent. But they just fail to manage it when it matters most. And it is one of the reasons that gets a lot of Chelsea fans scared. Because United are plagued with a lot of issues. Tactical issues, man management issues. Eric Ten Hag has his own issues now. The media is literally in there. Just before I jumped in here to have this conversation, I've seen a report where people are saying that Manchester United do suspect Mason Mount of leaking information to the media just so they could report fairly on him and all that. All of these are so abysmal and weird. And for a club the magnitude of Manchester United, for them to get to this level and have this kind of PR, to try and calm down the waters and then deal with the pressures that's coming. It tells you exactly where they are. But they also know that in the context of where they are as a club, the win today will be so important to them than almost everything that they've seen. Everything that United wants or needs, they need to win today. Immediately they get a win, it's all important for them and they get to get it. Why is it so? Why is it that Manchester United feel this confident apart from the data? And I've mentioned it. First of all, you look at the fact that Manchester United have triumphed in playing against Chelsea for a while now at Old Trafford in the English Premier League generally. But also, most importantly, is the fact that Chelsea haven't done themselves enough good. Like if you look at the indisciplined record of Chelsea, the yellow cards, red cards that have been accumulated by the team, and then also you look at a couple of things that have happened with the club. First of all, so for every Premier League team, all the big games that Chelsea have played, they have been chasers. So they chased down Manchester City, they chased down Arsenal, they chased down Tottenham Hotspur, they chased down Liverpool, and were successful. Most of these times, they're able to play out from the back, and they are successful at it. They are very good in terms of progression, first phase, second phase, playing out on the gap back, creating good chances, playing some good football. It has been brilliant stuff. But the problem, however, has been how to control games. And you go back and you look at the Brighton and Hove Albion game, and Chelsea go 2-0 up at some point in time, and all of a sudden, Benote cutting onto his left foot, and then he slots it into the right top corner, and then nobody can do anything about it. Why? Because Chelsea don't seem to have what it takes to control games. They lose their head in moments. They don't have time, point, places, and times. They don't understand the time and spaces such that they know when to close down. They know when to have that sustained pressure, when to sit deep, how and what time to control the characters to also lead a team in setting in these moments of the game, which are crucial. If you look at the opening of the game, middle parts of the game, the closing parts as in the first half, and then when the team returns from halftime and all of those things, very, very important. You go back and watch the game against Newcastle, and just when Chelsea came back from the races, that's when they were put to the sword by Newcastle. And in times like this, you need characters that are level-headed, that are calm, to urge the boys on, to guide them mentally, psychologically, and also help them to stick to the tactical plan in terms of execution from the manager. And these are things that Chelsea fail at. These are things that Chelsea don't seem to be thriving at as it stands now. These are things that Chelsea are struggling to get a job done in that regard. And they need to make sure that as it stands now, they get the job done. And it's going to be a key and integral part of today's game. So I love Thiago Silva as a leader, but he tends to be a little bit shy and coy when it comes to leading in moments like this, where he's a little bit calm. Yes, when players do make mistakes, he shouts at them, he guides them, and all of those things. But there are times where somebody needs to take the bull, face the bull by its horn, take the mantle on, and guide the team and say, hey, now we are calming down the game. Now we are not going to be more direct. And Chelsea have been very, very direct in most of the games that they've played. The pulse has come from Cole Palmer. When he's patient to calm down slow down the pace of the game, slow down the tempo, and then guide the team to levels of the attack. But as it stands now, the game is poised, it's in a balance, and it shouldn't be like that. It is because of Chelsea's issues of indiscipline and the high risk, high reward ball progression from the back. Also, the fact that Manchester United can just turn up. Everybody knows that United essentially are going to play, and Eric Ten Hag himself has said it, that he wants his team to be the best counter-attacking side in the league. And they are going to use the pace of Marcus Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho. When they do that, they expect that they will go long to them in the counter-attack, and they are going to use that pace. So again, this is one game that Chelsea's rest defense has to be very, very important. I think that Axel Disasi is going to lose a spot as compared to the team that played against Brighton and Hove Albion. I think Disasi is going to lose a spot. James is going to come in, and then it's going to be a rest defense of a back three of Levi Colwill, Thiago Silva, and Benoit Badiashile. It is a part of the game that's going to be very important, especially from the right-hand side, where build-up is going to be one of the best in tight spaces, finding the extra free man, ball manipulation in the first phase, Moise Caicedo on the right-hand side, with Thiago Silva, Reece James, and then Cole Palmer with that tempo. Chelsea's most dangerous side is definitely going to be that right-hand side, and that's going to be the left-hand side where Luke Shaw is playing for Manchester United. Luke is essentially going to be the part of United's game where they will also do a lot of their progression. They'll progress the ball from that channel through that channel to play through Chelsea and to create the best chances for themselves. It's imperative that while Chelsea do a lot of the job in that zone, they also close Luke Shaw down because he is comfortable on their left foot. Everything has automatisms is to play one touch with the ball and cutting centrally with the left-hand side area. And when they do, they will unleash the far-sided winger in a counter-attack. But you see, I saw that game against Newcastle. And one of the things that everybody who watches the game will applaud Newcastle for is one thing. It is the fact that Newcastle ran as much as anybody in the league, especially for their wingers in Anthony Gordon and Miguel Almiron. They chased the game, they chased the ball, 1 second balls, they were aggressive, and then they did a hell of a job. And I think this is something that today Cole Palmer and Raheem Sterling ought to do. It is something that they have not really done, the off-the-ball job of the wingers. You've not really seen it. They've not harnessed that part of their game. And they need to do it and do it properly well in the game against Manchester United. Put them to the sword. Be aggressive. Go back and then win the numerical superiorities. You win the ball, you play for it. That is the only way you stand a proper chance of beating this Manchester United side. Else, Chelsea are prone to make mistakes. They are prone to losing control in certain moments of the game. And if they don't take care, United will take advantage and beat them. These are the things that Chelsea ought to do in order to beat Manchester United tonight. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. If you've not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe. I'll see you.